Have you ever wondered about the mind behind the iPhone in your pocket? The story of Steve Jobs isn't just about a tech giant. It's a saga of passion, failure, and an almost fanatical obsession with perfection. It all began not in a gleaming high-rise, but in a humble garage in Los Altos, California. In 1976, a young Steve Jobs, along with his friend Steve Wozniak, started a company. They called it Apple. Their first product, the Apple I, was basically a motherboard that you had to assemble yourself. It was raw, but it was the start of a revolution. From that garage, Apple grew at an explosive pace. The Apple II, with its user-friendly design and color graphics, became a massive hit, turning Apple into a major player in the nascent personal computer industry. Then came the Macintosh in 1984. You remember that iconic Super Bowl ad, right? It promised to change the world, and it did. The Mac introduced the graphical user interface and the mouse to the masses, making computers intuitive and accessible for the first time. It was a masterpiece of design and engineering, but behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. Jobs was known for his intense, demanding personality. His vision was uncompromising, but his management style created friction. In 1985, after a power struggle with the board and the CEO he himself had hired, Steve Jobs was forced out of Apple, the very company he had co-founded. Imagine being cast out of your own creation. For many, this would have been the end. But for Steve Jobs, it was a new beginning. He later called this period one of the most creative of his life. He didn't just sit back, he immediately founded a new company. Next computers were technologically brilliant, powerful, and way ahead of their time, but they were also incredibly expensive. While they weren't a commercial success, the software they developed, Next Step, was a groundbreaking operating system that would play a crucial role later on. But that wasn't all. During this time, Jobs saw potential in a small computer graphics division of Lucasfilm. He bought it for $10 million and turned it into an independent company. You might have heard of it, Pixar. Yes, that Pixar. Under Jobs' leadership, Pixar went from a hardware company to a revolutionary animation studio. Their first feature film, Toy Story, released in 1995, changed animation forever and became a global phenomenon. Suddenly, Steve Jobs was back in the spotlight, not as a tech guru, but as a Hollywood mogul. He had proven he could succeed beyond the world of personal computers. Meanwhile, back at Apple, things were not going well. By the mid-90s, the company was in a death spiral. It had lost its innovative edge. Its product line was a confusing mess, and it was hemorrhaging money. It was on the brink of bankruptcy. In a move that shocked the tech world, Apple, in its desperation, bought Next in 1997, primarily for its advanced operating system, and with that acquisition came the return of its prodigal son. Steve Jobs was back at Apple, initially as an interim CEO, or as he liked to call it, the ICO. The company he returned to was a shadow of its former self. But Jobs was a man on a mission. He immediately went to work with a ruthless focus. He slashed the convoluted product line down to just 4 core products. He famously drew a simple 2x2 grid: consumer, pro, desktop, and portable. That was it. This clarity was the first step in Apple's revival. He also understood the power of branding. He launched the Think Different ad campaign, which wasn't about selling products, but about celebrating creativity, rebellion, and the spirit of Apple itself. It was a bold statement that Apple was back and ready to change the world again. His design philosophy was simple. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. He worked tirelessly with his design chief, Jony Ive, to create products that were not just functional, but beautiful objects of desire. They obsessed over every detail, from the curve of a corner to the satisfying click of a button. This partnership would define Apple's next chapter. The first major product of this new era was the iMac in 1998. It was a colorful, all-in-one computer that looked like nothing else on the market. It was a statement, it was fun, it re-energized the brand and put Apple back on the map. But the iMac was just the beginning. Jobs saw that the future wasn't just about computers, it was about a digital lifestyle. In 2001, Apple introduced the iPod. It wasn't the first digital music player, but it was the first one that was truly great. 1,000 songs in your pocket. The marketing was genius. The click wheel was a joy to use. And combined with the iTunes Store, it completely revolutionized the music industry. Apple was no longer just a computer company, it was a consumer electronics powerhouse. Then, in 2007, Jobs took the stage for what would become his most legendary product launch. He teased the audience, talking about 3 revolutionary products: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. But these were not three separate devices. This was one device, and he called it the iPhone. The iPhone changed everything. It redefined what a phone could be and ushered in the era of the smartphone, creating entire new industries and changing the way we live, work, and communicate. It was the culmination of everything Jobs had worked towards. Powerful technology made simple, elegant, and incredibly personal. Following the iPhone came the App Store, which unleashed the creativity of developers worldwide. And then the iPad in 2010, which created an entirely new category of device between the smartphone and the laptop. Under Jobs' leadership, Apple became the most valuable company in the world. His keynotes were legendary events, where he, in his signature black turtleneck and jeans, would captivate the world with his latest creations. He wasn't just a CEO, he was a master storyteller, a showman who made technology feel like magic. Steve Jobs' legacy is immense. It's not just in the products he created, but in the way he thought about them. He believed that technology alone wasn't enough. It's technology married with the liberal arts, married with the humanities, that yields the results that make our hearts sing. He built a company that puts design and user experience at the forefront of everything it does. He taught us to think different, to challenge the status quo, and to have the courage to follow our heart and intuition. He showed the world that a relentless passion for excellence could truly change the world. His story is a powerful reminder that the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the life of a true visionary. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more stories about the people and ideas that shape our world. We'll see you in the next one.